Oh my, it's Kelly White.
Hey, it's James Van Prague.
What are you up to?
Thinking about changing the world.
Me too. We should do a show together.
What would it be about?
Let me show you.
The James and Kelly Show. Hi there.
Hi, Kelly. Where did all those people go to that were clapping?
I don't know. I'm in the background doing this the whole time. I'm such a fan.
How are you today, Cal?
You know, I'm actually really well. Today was 60 degrees where I live.
Congratulations. Because
Thank you.
It was minus a couple of times, and it was.
Oh, it's been, 20 and 25 degrees. It's 60 degrees. I was so happy.
No
How
more
about
snow.
you? No more snow. How are you?
Daffodils are coming up in my garden, so I'm very happy. Yeah,
You know
beautiful.
that's my favorite flower.
Is it? I'll take a. I did take a picture. I'll send it to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
please do.
My Monet garden has started to bloom. So
How great is that?
narcissus and daffodils. Yeah, and tulips are starting, and
Oh,
it's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah.
it's going to be
And I
fabulous.
planted all weekend. I planted hostas for a shade garden, and hibiscus from the root.
Wow.
I bought like lots of bulbs. I got this catalog. A friend of mine gave me a catalog of plants, and I said to her, "You never give me another catalog because I can't spend money like that, $400 bulbs, and then try to plant them all. My knees."
Oh my God, as Don will say to me, you're having a manic moment. I'll say, yeah, that's right. Get out of my way. Let me enjoy it, for God's sakes.
It's changed from years ago. It was really easy, but now it's like, okay, let's get down there and plant and get on our knees and get up. It's fun.
Oh my gosh.
So tonight's show, I know you've been looking forward to this, and I've been looking forward to this. And we were just talking before the show how, I mean, my floor is full, my desk is full. There's so many things about astrology that we both, a lot more than I do. But when I put my class together for my school, my JP School of Musical Arts there, and the astrology course I put together for basic astrology. Now, mind you, basic astrology would be 3 lessons. That'd be like 20 lessons. Because the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And I always say to the girl producing with me, I don't know a lot about astrology. But then I found I did. She goes, oh, no, you know a lot. So, well, I know basic stuff. So there's a lot. So we cannot cover tonight.
No.
We're going to the basics.
We're going to do basic things. And then you've got a great school for astrology that really teaches a lot. So, and I know that we're going to have a link up for your school for the astrology classes.
It's an in-depth class about astrology.
Right. Here it is.
This is just sign up there. And check it out, everybody. You can read it from out at first, but that's a really in-depth. This tonight we're just scratching the surface because there's so much to know.
There's so much, but if anybody is interested in it, I really highly suggest your class because we're going to talk about what is astrology, and then we're going to get into a little bit of this. But I know in your class,
and you might have a different perspective than I do because you've been doing it more than I have. And we'll just share that with you.
We'll just share it. I mean, I got into astrology when I was about 10.
Wow.
My mom started buying me astrology books. And, back in the day, I guess it is still that way now, people would say, oh, what sign are you? Oh, I'm a Virgo. What sign are you?
That was a very California thing.
It was such a California thing.
They got it from California. What sign are they? Yeah.
So true.
Hippie days, yeah.
And you were from the East Coast, so you probably didn't get this.
Oh, gosh, no. Sign was from California.
Well, sign me up.
I try to guess people's sign, and a lot of times I'm pretty good at it. I looked at because one of the books I'm sending you, Physical Features. I can read someone physically in the face. Sending that to you. I'm cleaning out my boxes of books so I'm giving Kelly half my library. These books she loves. But it's really interesting because you can see certain signs, characteristics on someone's faces. I know it's a Virgo, Cancer, moon face, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely characteristics of those too.
Leo rising hair.
Yeah. So Kelly, what's astrology?
Astrology is a way that it's a belief that the stars and planets influence our life.
Right.
So it goes back in Vedic astrology, and there's a difference between Western, and we're going to talk about Western tonight, but Western astrology goes back several hundred years, and Vedic astrology goes back 10,000 years.
So what is the difference?
The difference is Western astrology is based on the planets that go around the earth, and that it doesn't really change. Everything is always that 30-degree, and everything doesn't change. And in Vedic astrology, it's based up more on the moon, and it's constant change. Planets are changing,
Interesting.
moving. So both are really interesting and both are accurate, but everybody needs to know the basics, which of Western astrology, you're going to get the best basics for that.
And what the lesbian astrology would talk about is it's energy. So everything is
Yes.
energy, and it's like, so when we're born, the planets are in a certain position in the sky, and each planet has a certain amount of energy. So the bigger planets have more energy, the smaller planets smaller energy, and that personal energy of that planet affects a part of your body, whether it's an organ or or an aspect of your, we'll call it a chart. So when we're born, it's like a blueprint, I guess you'd say, a blueprint. I talk about it very easily. Think of a pie. You're given a pie when you're born.
Yes.
And a pie has 12 slices. And so that's your chart in Western. And the slices are houses. We call them houses.
Yes, exactly. That's very true. It looks like a clock almost.
It looks like a clock. Exactly. It happens somewhere here on my 90-page.
And so, oh, there you go. See, perfect.
And there are 4 quadrants of 3s.
Yep.
Right?
Oh yeah, it gets very detailed, and if you're a Virgo, you'll love the detail and the detail and the detail of it. But I thought we would start with just simple things like, let's talk about zodiac. What is the zodiac? And the zodiac it's a circle, if you can imagine, of 360 degrees, okay? And it's divided into 12 sections of 30 degrees each, 12 sections.
Well, pieces of pie, I say.
Pieces of pie. And so the first one in astrology is Aries. If we talk about Aries. So let's talk about some of the traits. And Aries would take place if you were born, anybody that was born between March 21st and April 19th, you are an Aries. So let's talk about the traits of an Aries.
Sure.
Okay.
Aries is the I am sign. So they say it's the baby of the zodiac, and they see the world from their perspective. Yeah. It's me. It's really just from there, and they really don't mean to be me.
No.
But it's just they're learning because of that. It's a personality they're learning. It's like, I think it's a basic building blocks of the personality they're just starting with. And Aries, they say, is a sign which is, it's a fire sign. So every sign has an element associated with it. So Aries is a fire sign, right? So Aries tend to, and most fire signs do, but Aries really is the ones that does something, they jump into something, and later say, oops, I shouldn't have done that. So they're headstrong. It rules their head. They're headstrong.
They're very headstrong. They're the initiators. You know, you need something done, and you have, let's say you're a little reserved. Oh, you send an Aries out there; it'll get done.
And it rules every sign is ruled by a planet, right?
And Aries is ruled by Mars.
And Mars is the
planet of war. Exactly. So Aries usually have no fear about anything. So, and we're talking about the sun sign. So when you're born with a whole chart here. But the first thing we look at is the sun sign, because that's the most important one that we're going to look at initially.
Where the sun was located the second you were born. So I'm 0 degree Virgo, which means that the sun just entered into Virgo.
Yes.
And I still think I'm a Leo, which I have 4 planets in Leo, but I'm 0 degree Virgo. And that really means a lot in astrology. Plus, cusp babies. They say cuspies.
Cusp, if you're right on the cusp between one sign and another sign, you have to look, actually, if you're reading your astrology, you really need to look at both of them, because you could have more of one feeling and less of another. It's on the cusp if you're born on the cusp.
I have both traits, no doubt about it.
Oh, no doubt about it, James.
I have 2 phrases for signs too. Can I just?
Please.
Phrase is, my need is to be independent and develop self-awareness. Remember headstrong?
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
There you go. Okay, that's now the next one after that is Taurus. So you're Taurus if you were born between April 20th and May 20th. Okay. Now Taurus is a fixed sign, and we'll talk about what that means in a moment.
Sorry, Kelly. Kelly and I, we're both Virgos. We have all this information to give to everybody, so we're trying to get it in. Also, like I said, I'll tell people what it rules. So Aries rules ahead, of course. So I would say, and how you feel about this, the weakest part of the body of that sun sign is what it rules. They say.
Yes.
Okay. So Aries, headstrong. So headaches. Gotta be careful head things. Okay.
Yes.
Taurus rules the throat. Continue.
Yes. And Taurus is a builder. They're the builders here. They can manifest something. They're very also stubborn. They don't like change. They like to they love beauty. Beauty is very important. Music, art,
It's ruled by the planet Venus, which is all
and it's
that.
ruled by Venus.
I
So
always say this. I like this simple. So Taurus is good food, good art, and good sex.
yeah,
It's the
so
most it's the most
that's
physical sign of the zodiac
yeah,
because it's the most physical, tactile sign. A lot of
yeah,
Scorpios, I feel really bad for Scorpios because they get the bad, reputation of the sex.
yeah.
No, Scorpios think of sex, but Taurus do the sex.
Right.
And Taurus loves food, man. Love food, nice things, and
So
possessions,
true.
careful with possessions. And like you said, they got to be very careful. They get so stubborn and just so this way. I had a producer once with a Taurus, and I gave
Oh,
a reading of her dead kid came through, and she still didn't believe what I was doing. Really? So they can be very. It's fixed.
yeah,
Just this way.
very fixed. That's very true. Well, the next one on our parade is Gemini. So
Woo!
Gemini is from May 21st to June 21st. And if you were a Gemini, you'd be quick-witted, capricious, cheerful, talkative, communicative. What else, James?
Geminis don't shut up.
They
So
really don't.
Gemini rules the hands. If you ever say Gemini
hmm
speak, they'll
And
always be
shoulders and
so
arms. Yeah.
and they'll always be moving. Our former president, I always noticed it. I noticed how he was always all over the breath, something else probably.
Yes.
But Gemini is a communication sign, so it rules writers, the creative expression. So it's very much about the. It's
Yeah.
interesting because they say that Gemini is a butterfly of the cosmos, where another sign that comes in, like let's say Aries or Capricorn, come in to learn a lesson, beginning, middle, and end. Gemini just touches the surface. Just they learn. They don't go in depth. So you'll never
Yeah.
find a Gemini in depth about one subject because they learn a myriad of subjects. It's like they have a library and they have all the books, but not one. They haven't read one fully.
Boy, that's very true with
Yeah,
Gemini. That is very true. And some people call them two-faced because they have
twins,
the
because they never
twins.
know which one they're
Yeah.
going to get because it is definitely that two in parts of
Yeah,
it.
and you'll see they often will have some sort of a mood thing, but they're really fun. They're usually very fun to be around,
And
you
very
know.
good writer, quick-witted. If they're
Oh,
quick-witted, then
quick wit. Oh my gosh.
comedy.
So after that, we have Cancer. So if you were a Cancer, you
I'm
were
sorry,
born
Gemini is ruled
oh,
by Mercury. We've got the Gemini is ruled
Mercury.
by Mercury. Mercury is all about communication, so that's why
And
Gemini.
and Mercury is the fastest moving planet of all of them.
There you
It
go.
just goes so fast. So the next one after this is Cancer. So Cancer, if you're a Cancer, you were born between June 22nd and July 22nd. So if you are a Cancer, it's very nurturing, it's mother, it's considerate, it's imaginative, it's sensitive, extremely sensitive.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Key phrase: my need is to give and receive emotional warmth and security. Ruled by the moon.
By
So
the
the moon,
moon.
really, phase of the moon for Cancerians out there. You should definitely pay attention to the phase of the moon because you will notice a big emotional change more than anybody else in the zodiac because it's ruling you and it's all
Yeah,
water. So that's a Cancers are the crab. Okay, so
yeah.
they are the crab that doesn't go direct to something; they go sideways, sideways. I have two people in my family cancers, and I go, oh, I didn't really care for that because I'm very direct and wishy-washy. I wishy-washy. I just like so. I found that sweetest, softest meat on the inside, hard shell on the outside, because they're protecting their sensitivity.
Oh, yeah, yeah. A lot of empaths
A
are
lot of impacts, a lot of
mhm,
psychics. It rules the
mhm,
house. It rules, I think, the mother. It rules
yeah,
all things about the home,
yeah,
cooking. Very, very nurturing, as Kelly said. You rules the
mhm,
breasts also,
mhm,
and stomach.
yeah.
So I'd be very careful of those areas in Cancerian.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, the next one on Hit Parade is Leo. So
Kill.
if you were born between July 23rd and August 23rd, I'm sorry, August 22nd, you would be, so
Yeah.
you are at 0 degrees.
I'm
That's
very
right, because
Virgo. When I grew up,
that's
I was
true.
supposed to be a Leo, but then I became Virgo.
And Leos are enthusiastic. They can be arrogant. They're very proud. They're very loud. They get things done. They have very passion. They're very passionate
Yes, key
performers.
phrase. Yes, performance rules performance.
Mhm.
My phrase is my need is to creatively express myself and be appreciated by others. Well, by the sun, the largest we have in the heavenly bodies, right? And
Right.
that's why they will this Hollywood, performing the sun, the spotlight. They need the spotlight,
Right.
and it's amazing thing about the Leos because Leo rules the hair too, mane, right?
Yeah.
Kelly, Leo. Um, I have 4 planets in Leo. My Mercury, which is communication, is in the sign of Leo in Western. And without that, I don't think I could do stage things. I'd be the Virgo can be very shy. And I think a lot of that Leo helps me definitely get the word out, write books,
Has to.
communication, because otherwise I wouldn't
Mhm.
want to do it. I mean, otherwise I'd be too shy to do it. But Leo
You
gets
would. Leo pushes you out, and Leo. I'm a Leo rising, and you can always spot one again. But usually the hair has something to do with it, but it
Mhm.
will push you out because I'm actually a Virgo, which is not normally somebody that I would just get up and do this, but the Leo gets you going.
Me,
The
yes,
Leo gets it.
it belongs well. And also, Kelly, about Leos, which I think is very interesting. I find there are 2 different types of Leos. So the first type is a very shy Leo, but once like
Ah,
they go to a party and they get to know everybody, they're comfortable, then they come out and they express themselves.
yeah,
So that's one type, a shy Leo. But the next one is the ones that are out there already. Here I am, life at the party. So 2 different types of Leos. And they're
yeah,
very loyal, rules the heart. The heart. So
true.
rules that heart, and the most loyal
Oh,
sign of the zodiac, I think, are Leos. The
yeah.
problem is every sign has positive, negatives. The problem is with Leos, they want everything to be perfect and they want everyone to have a good time. So they might tell little lies. Not that they mean to, they're like white lies, just to make people feel better. That's very fun.
Mm. Not like the Sag. Not like a Sag.
We'll
Who
go into
doesn't
that
care?
in a
We'll
second.
go with that in a minute.
I'm going to put
Preach.
myself down, right down there.
Okay, so Virgo, if you're a Virgo, you were born between August 23rd, like James, to September 22nd. So
Yeah.
let's talk about Virgo, shall
Yes,
we?
our phrase is my need is to analyze, discriminate, and function
Yeah.
efficiently. It's ruled by Mercury. Remember, Mercury, quick
Yep.
communication. So it is all about dissemination of information, dissemination of the world around them. Everything's got to be in order. So that when I
Mhm.
was married to a double Virgo, so I know regimentation is very important. Ruled by the intestines. So isn't it interesting that
Mhm.
taking the food in, and that really is how it takes the food and puts it where it belongs. It's
Yeah.
it is to discriminate the food and efficiently digest the food. So there's a
Mhm.
compartment here, and that's really what happens the intestines. So Virgos tend to have ulcers sometimes. I've
Mhm.
had an ulcer. We have problems with digestion sometimes because we have some
Mhm.
allergies there. But it's all about discrimination for sure.
Yes. You find a lot of nurses and doctors
Ah,
and
sign of service,
healers.
sign of service, a service to
Mhm.
humanity, service for humanity, Virgos. I
Yeah.
always can tell Virgos, healers, rules healers.
Right.
And,
Yeah, it
and then
sure does.
the humility is there. Really, they can teach others about humility for sure. Yeah, it's very
Well,
true.
it's an earth sign, so yeah, they're very grounded.
Down to earth.
You know, they have to come and help. They have to help in this life.
Very much so.
So, if you are a Libra, you were born between September 23rd and October 23rd.
That's exactly right. And the key phrase for Libra, which is ruled by the planet Venus, and
Mhm.
Venus is about love and beauty and art. So Libra rules art and
Oh
beauty
yeah.
and color. And Mama, I can't go out now. I gotta work. Mama, my girl is here. Libra key phrase is my need, my need to cooperate with others and create beauty, balance, and harmony. Because
Yeah.
Libra is about the scales, it's about justice, and Libra
Oh.
so legal stuff, lawyers, so forth.
Mhm.
And Libra tends to see the hue of colors, the value of colors, in a very different way than most other signs. They say it's deeper. Rules designers.
Yeah.
Libras tend to buy a lot of clothes. That's something. It rules like clothing, and they tend to collect clothing, and everything's got to be aesthetically proper for them.
Mm.
They're also, is it the Iron Fist and Velvet Glove?
Yeah.
That's what Libras are. They'll get everything they want because they'll
Yeah.
smile their way through it.
Yeah.
And it goes the music world, of course, and modeling and beauty.
Yeah.
Beauty sign.
Beauty.
And
That's true.
Libra, the one thing about Libra, which is kind of interesting too, if you know about Libra, they cannot make up their minds.
Yeah.
Procrastination is number one because they want everything to be in balance, and nothing really is in balance in this world. It's hard to find balance. So instead of making a choice or decision, I'd rather not. I'll wait on that. That's Libra. They
Yeah.
procrastinate.
Yeah. Oh
And
my
rules,
gosh.
rules kidneys. Libra rules kidneys. So just drink a lot of water if you're a Libra.
Mm.
It takes the toxins away.
Mm. Wow, that's a good one to know.
Yeah.
Scorpio. If you were born between October 24th and November 22nd, you would be a Scorpio.
And my key phrase is my need is for deep involvements and intense transformation.
Yeah.
Well, by Pluto, and
Mhm.
also rules death, rules mediumship. And I always say they get a bad rap, Scorpios, because
Mhm.
I think it could be the highest spiritual sign of the zodiac or the lowest, right? And
Either one, and because it's hidden, it's got a hidden aspect.
it's hidden. And they're very good Scorpios at finding other people's, ferreting out other people's information, naturally destructive. But they're terrible at giving out their own because they're hidden. They don't want to share.
Yeah, yeah. That's so true.
And they're also so intense. I mean, it really is intense sign. I heard, Kelly, that a Scorpio has all the positive traits and negative traits of every other sign plus their own. So that's why it's so intense, such an intense sign.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
And the natural detectives, they got to find out where everything is, what's this about, what's that about. So naturally curious. So, and Scorpio rules the reproductive area. So again, that's why people think sex. It rules doesn't mean they think about it, don't do it necessarily. So they got to be careful of that area. That's the weakest part of the body.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And if you are a Capricorn, if you're a Sagittarius, if you were born between November 23rd and December 21st, then you would be a Sagittarius. So let's talk about Sagittarius.
My key phrase is, and I have this all in my school, is to expand the horizons of my mind and world, ruled by Jupiter. And isn't that interesting? Sagittarius. So Sag has what I call foot and mouth disease. They just say,
they think it comes out.
Comes right out. I was once doing a story I want to tell you. I was doing a workshop, and it was somewhere in Chicago, I think. It was a mediumship and with this class, and this large girl, which I didn't really notice until someone said something. She was giving a reading and doing evidential, demonstration, and so the audience member was giving her information. I said, no, don't feed the medium. I said, look at her. You think she needs to eat something? And I was making a joke, and it was like my friend said, "Do you know what you just said?" I said, "No, I was just joking. It wasn't what I meant to say. That came out the wrong way. That's typical Sagittarius, and I'm Sagittarius moon. So of course I felt guilty, and invited her to a whole term of classes I was doing at Omega Institute for free because I didn't get it. She said, "Oh, I didn't even notice that." She's really short. I didn't notice I'm short.
Sagittarius will get you in trouble.
It rules sciatica, Sagittarius. It's like half horse, half man. Yeah. And also Sagittarius rules teachers, ministers,
philosophers,
psychotherapists, Kelly.
Yep, psychotherapists,
ministers, religious people. Yep, and libraries. It's a book. It's a knowledge. It's a teacher. It's a counselor. Yep. So here I am. My moon is in Sagittarius. The moon was your emotions. So sometimes you act, or moon is your emotions. We're going to get into that in a second. So my Sag moon. So I help people, right? I counsel people about their emotions.
Yes.
Sagittarius moon.
Yes. Okay. Yep. That Sagittarius moon will do that. Sagittarius are fascinating too. They travel a lot. They like to go. They like to travel. They like to learn. It's fun to travel with one. Yeah.
Ron Oyer's a Sagittarius. Typical Sagittarius. And Sagittarians have had it. They've had it. I mean, I have so many Sagittarius friends. Like, enough, ready, goodbye. On the next thing. They have no patience with things.
That's so true. That's so true. But Ron had a lot of patience.
Ron's had the patience of Job. Ron, really Saint Ron. We call him Saint Ron.
I miss traveling with him. He was so fun.
Esther Hicks, does all of Esther Hicks. We put that on hold now. Esther Hicks' work.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you are a Capricorn if you were born December 22nd to January 19th. You're a Capricorn. And Capricorns, James, how would you describe a Capricorn?
My key phrase is, my need is for structure, organization, and social accomplishment. Rules the knees, by the way, and bones, Capricorn. So that's the weakest part of the body, knees, bones. I know, Capricorn rising. I find that Capricorns are the hoarders. Not in a bad way, but if they drive by and they see something on the curb, I'll be able to use that one day. So it's a sign that uses things, holds on to things, because they're very utilitarian. They can use something later on. So they gather things so they can use it to perform later on. Constructive stuff. They make things that are nothing. They'll make things. They are steady in their pace and ruled by the mountain goat and just jumps from one side of the mountain. And they'll get what this tenacious people. I was married to tenacious. They'll get what they want, but it takes time. But they don't mind doing the hard work to get it done. Capricorn.
That's very true. They will definitely do the hard work to do it.
Very organized people. Very, very.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the truth. They are
If they don't have
very
organization,
father oriented too, very male father oriented.
yes. Oh, yeah. And just isn't it funny? Cancer is female. Cancer's mother,
Hmm.
and Capricorn
Yeah,
is, and that's those are opposite signs. That's interesting.
yeah, interesting. Okay, you are an Aquarius if you were born between January 20th and February 18th. And Aquarius is fascinating on every
On
level.
many levels. Okay. My need for Aquarius, my key phrase is to be innovative, original, and to create social change. Ruled by
Hmm.
Uranus, planet Uranus, and scientists,
Yep.
inventors, right? I think
Hmm.
the internet has to be, uh,
Got to be.
has to be.
Hmm.
And it's Aquarians. Abraham Lincoln was an Aquarian. Aquarians are they think the water bearer, but it's just it's not. It's an air sign.
Right.
Aquarians
Hmm.
and rules the circulation system. So be careful,
Yes.
circulation system.
And they're liberal. They can make change.
They make change. They go, but they
Hmm.
show. They put the light out and show people the way. That's what they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They show people the way, and it's the most. This is an interesting one. It's the most independent sign of the zodiac.
Oh,
So if you're with an Aquarian,
true.
forget about it. They need their own space and their own time. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Hmm.
So they need their own space. Sagittarius is the second most independent sign. They need their space
Hmm.
too. The Aquarius is really an Aquarian is what I call the ice mold or the icicle. In that
It's true.
they can be the most gregarious sign there is of people. They're great with people. Gregarious Aquarius, very good with people. But when they're not into them, it's cold chill.
Oh,
You just freeze. Cold
yeah.
emotion, nothing.
Bum.
It's weird.
It's very strange.
Very strange.
I've
Very.
been on both sides of that one.
I've
Yeah.
been on both sides of that one too.
Yeah. It's
Mm.
And all signs have the positive and the negative. So we're not just picking on Aquarius. And in fact, we're really in the age of Aquarius. We've just begun the age of Aquarius here.
My baby girl's to go piddle, or she's. I'm gonna let her out the door. Can you just finish?
Okay.
Just pipe
I'll just finish it. You gonna take her? Okay.
just for a
Oh,
second. I'm gonna open the door.
okay. Go ahead, Maisie. It's okay. Um, so, and
It is. We're in
the
Pisces.
last one, the last one in the zodiac is the Pisces. And Pisces, you're a Pisces if you were born February 19th to March 20th. And Pisces they're very
My
sweet.
key phrase is
Mike, yeah, what's your key
my
phrase?
need. What is a good one? My need is to commit myself to a dream or ideal and work
Yeah.
toward its realization. Ruled by Neptune, and
Hmm.
it's the sign Pisces rules the feet. So
Yeah.
they say that it's also psychic, rules psychics, or medium should be
Hmm.
ruled by Scorpios. And they say that Pisces is a psychic sign because the feet pick up all the vibrations of the earth of everybody else. That's what they say. So
Yeah.
people always got to be very, very careful because they dream like their heads are in the clouds sometimes,
Yeah.
and they're just often to be out there. So they got to be very careful of addictions. It rules the addictions, and
Hmm.
they're really it hurts them because they need. I think it grounds them in some way. I guess, but it's. I'm
Well,
right,
it's escapism. It's because
it's,
of Neptune. It's
right back.
escapism.
Sorry,
Okay.
Nick. Water's cold.
That's okay. So, so that's all right. James will be back. And those are the 12 signs of the zodiac. So let's see. Now, on top of that, oh, here we go. Thank you, Renee. So, if you wanted to get a picture of this, you can see that it talks about each different sign and like something about them that we just went over. So, thank you for that one. And again, when James anytime you can go to his site and sign up for his astrology class, and it's going to give you a lot of information. Hi everybody, thank you so much for everybody for watching. So now I'm going to go into a little bit. So we're going to talk about each sign is either an earth sign, an air sign, a water sign, or a fire sign. And so if you are a fire sign, if you are an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, so that means you're a fire sign, okay? And
Mhm.
you're an earth sign if you're a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. You are an air sign if you're Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And you are a water sign if you are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And all of this is important because you're getting to know thyself. And astrology is all about learning about who you are. So as
And
you
it's the
learn,
energy you're given when you signed up for this. This is the energy you've been given.
and before we incarnate, we choose our birth date, we choose our time, we choose everything. And so these are all the things that we wanted to know about ourselves so we can work. They're gifts. A lot of these are gifts that we have,
Mm.
actually, each one of these. So again, when you're born, you immediately when you're born. That exact time is very important. And you have what's called a natal chart. So you've heard the expression, what's a natal chart? So if you were to go to an astrologer, or you could Google it online, and you would put your birth date and your time of date that you were born, the time that you were born, and where you were born, because every place you were born, every place has a different energy and a different degree. And so a natal chart actually shows us the map of our life. So the natal chart is really important, that you can see everything about yourself when you see this natal chart. And it's really fun to learn. I mean, the thing about when you take a class, especially James, like your class, you get to learn not about you, you learn about you, and then it's really fun. Then you start going into your spouse, your friends, your children. It's really fun. Your dogs. It's everything.
I just learned characteristics of traits of the planets and the
Mhm.
signs, and that gets me through. And I know everything, about people.
It's
Moves your emotions, and Mercury rules
Well, let's
communication.
talk about that. Let's talk about that.
How you act, how you present how you act. Your rising sign, your ascendant. We'll talk about
Mhm.
that in a second. Is how
Yeah.
you approach things in life, how you appear to people, face you wear.
Mhm.
The sun is how you act. Your moon is how you feel, so it's your emotions.
Mhm.
Mercury is communication, how you express yourself, communication. Venus, how you love. Venus will love life.
Mhm.
Jupiter, I think Jupiter is what your fortune, luck in life, isn't it?
And it's your expansive. How
It's
expansive are you
expansive.
going to be? And your search for meaning. It will also, Gemini will talk about, I mean, Jupiter talks about that.
And Saturn rules, among other things, karmic lessons that you
Is
have to learn.
big karmic,
So if you
big
want to know what
karma.
lessons you come back to learn, look and see what sign is in Saturn.
And it rules your health too.
Does it really, Kelly?
And it can rule your work. So Saturn is very important in a chart. So again, when we talk about a natal chart, you're looking at all the other aspects that are in your chart. So you definitely want to see where all these planets are and what they mean to you specifically, where they are. And Chiron is also in the chart, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So that would also even go to another degree, James, of healing, because that's very big. And Uranus rules the collective mind, the illumination. It rules humanitarianism, to be a humanitarian.
And some
Um,
of the larger planets. So there's smaller planets, individual
mhm,
personal planets, but then there are larger, which are generational, like 4 or 5 years per generation, the bigger planets.
mhm. Yes, yes,
So for me, I've only studied the inner planets because they're more important
right,
personality. The expansive ones, the bigger ones, are more expansive.
right. And then there's Neptune again, which is the spiritual urge. It's got a whole spiritual and a part to it, and the Pluto, which is transformation.
It's true.
You know, and then there's north node and the south node in a chart. So when we look at a chart, we'll look at the north node and the south node. North node means your future, and the south node means what is your karmic past.
And
So
it's
it's
also, what you're trying to attain in this lifetime, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
from their past, in past lifetimes, you can see where South Node is located. And one of
Mhm,
the qualities, like mine is in Aries, which rules war, which I know is general in many wars.
mhm,
And then my North Node is the opposite, Libra, which is about fairness and the way we talked about before. It's very beautiful.
mhm.
True. Very much so.
Kathy Burns says a question here. She says, "I don't have a time that I was born." You really to find your ascendant, which is how you are seen in the world, you do need that time. And if you don't have it, you
Right.
can use 00, or I mean, you can
Right.
use or noon.
Well, you could also do what's called a regress chart, which means that you look into certain experiences, major events in your life, like a marriage or a graduation from
Yeah,
school or a child's birth, and go backwards. And it's called a regress chart, and they go all the way back to when you're born.
yeah,
Everyone.
that's
That's
true.
awesome.
That's true. So you can definitely figure that one out.
I have some here, Kelly, that I just want.
Okay,
This is a great book that I have.
please.
That I just want to. You're talking about that. Just attributes of fire and air, and
Hmm.
four elements you talk about. So, okay. So attributes of fire again, which is Aries, Leo, Sag. Skillful applications are radiant, glowing, warm, flaming, energetic, assertive, courageous, enthusiastic, exuberant. And then the unskillful applications can be hot-headed, rash, impatient, uncomfortable, aggressive, pushy, violent, overzealous, fanatical. So,
Yeah.
and then you have air signs, which are Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and the skillful application of mental, intellectual, abstract, logical, communication, objective, and impersonal, impartial. The unskillful application could be spacey, ungrounded, intangible, wordy, verbose, uncaring, distant.
Hmm.
Yes. Shall we continue? Okay. Here are ones for attributes of Earth, which are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, as you mentioned. Skillful, practical, pragmatic, realistic, useful, dependable, grounded, solid, stable, patient, enduring. Unskillful, overly conservative. Oh, I've met that. That's true. Afraid to take risks. Security consciousness. Stubborn, rigid, obstinate, and flexible.
There you go.
Attributes of water, which are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Skillful applications are nurturing, sustaining, feeling, emotional, bonding, merging, receptive, flowing. Unskillful are overprotective, clinging, over-emotional, undefined, chaotic, weak, helpless. There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. So I think we should talk about the houses, what the houses are, because I know people are asking right now about the houses. So in astrology, again, if we're looking at there you go, that's a chart, and like a natal chart would look just like what James has here. And each house represents something in our life, something in our life. So everybody would have planets in these houses.
Each one is ruled by a sign. Each house is ruled by a sign, right?
I say that again.
Each house, each planet is ruled by a certain sign.
Yes, yes. Each house is ruled by a certain sign,
Okay.
and so the first house. Let's talk about that because this is interesting. The first house is about self-awareness, self-discovery, or your persona. Your first house.
Yes, and I have how others see me. It's your image, how you appear to other people. Your
Yes.
appearance, outer personality.
Yes, yes, your outer personality. Yes. The second house is your personal resources, your values, your skills.
Yes, personal resources, exactly. Money, possessions, material attachments, earning and spending habits.
Oh, yeah, spending habits, second house. Yeah, that would make sense. Third house is communication, mental activity, and learning.
And I have networking, communication, learning again, exchanging information, making connections in immediate environment.
Yep, yep. And the fourth house is the hearth. It's home, it's security,
It's family.
it's
Isn't it
family.
interesting? It's family, it's home, it's wow.
Hmm.
It's nurturing, it's a parent. It's very interesting.
Yes.
I have one planet in my fourth house. And
Oh,
guess what planet it is?
Sag.
It's Mars in Taurus.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense.
It does. Wow.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And the fifth house is creative extensions of the self and children.
Exactly right. Creative,
Mhm.
self-expression, children, creative projects, love affairs, and risk-taking.
Oh, I didn't realize love affairs. That's interesting. In that, interesting. The sixth house, self improvement, daily life, work, and health.
Yes. Physical and psychological health,
Mhm.
day-to-day work, duties, personal service, ruled by a Virgo. You know.
Yeah, that it's true. And the seventh house is awareness of others and relationships.
Exactly right. Significant one-to-one relationships, husband, wife, mate, business relationships, partnerships, therapist and client, etc.
Hmm. Yep. Now, the eighth house is really very interesting because it's about letting go.
Is it really about letting go?
Yeah, it's about
Wow,
it
really?
often is death. You can see death in an eighth house, transformation and well, you can see death, not so much
My house,
transformation.
my eighth house is loaded.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Look at the work you do.
That's how I work because it's ruled by Scorpio, isn't it?
Yep,
So,
yep. And
so
it's
and I used to tell when I was younger, a psychic or whoever astrologer said to me, "Oh, you have a full eighth house. It's other people's money. You're gonna get money through death." And I'm thinking, "Oh wow, people never leave me money in their wills. Oh wow, some way my whole life where like that never happened. But I make an income based on people that have passed over. Hello,
that's true. Wow. Isn't that interesting? Wow.
exactly right.
Wow. And the ninth house is awareness of the cosmos, religion, travel, spirituality,
Mysticism, yes, collective mind,
mysticism.
yeah, viewpoints, travel, religion, philosophy, mental studies. That's right. That's right. Psychology in there. Yeah,
Yep, yep. The 10th house is vocational purpose, taking power. It's your career.
it's your
It
career.
is your
Right?
career.
House, exactly. Right. Public self, yeah, position in the world, reputation, vocation,
Mhm.
authority.
Wow. So interesting. The 11th house is group contribution, collectives, and friends. It's friends. 11th house.
I don't have friends. I have a group interacting. Yeah, I do have friends. Yeah, friends and associates, visions and dreams.
Mm, and dreams. Interesting. And the 12th house is transcendence,
Uh,
spiritual path, and solitude. And do you know how many planets I have in this one?
Probably a lot.
A lot. A lot. It's really about the psychic. It's about being the psychic.
Sun there? Sun is in 12th house.
No, but
No.
my everything else is.
Where's your sun?
My son is in the second house.
Okay. Well, 12th house is my moon. My moon is Sag. My
Mm,
emotion. True.
yeah.
So I had to collect soul, devoted to higher ideals, spiritual values, selfless social service, karma, overcoming ghosts, or doubts of your past. It
Doubts
rules
of
the
your
past.
yeah.
It rules the past of yourself. Yes, very true. So in
Oh
relationships,
gosh.
I had to be very careful in my relationships. I knew they're going to all be karmic because my 12th house, my moon, which rules the emotions, is there. So I knew it would
Mm,
be karma, and I knew it the moment I met my partners. I knew that was karmic.
right. So true, James. Oh my gosh. So should we talk about
Just
aspects?
really quickly, Kelly, I want to mention this when I got this, if you don't mind. Planets and astrology, for those that didn't fully get this yet. Sun, basic identity, who you are, you act. Your moon is how you feel, your emotions. The Mercury is communication. The Venus, of course, your capacity to love. Mars, battles, confrontations in life. Jupiter is expansive, learning, truth, ethical values. Saturn, we said earlier, is karma and capacity to create order and form.
Mhm.
Uranus, individuality. Neptune, capacity to transcend. Pluto, capacity to transform. And you said the north node, of course, the future direction of growth. And your south node is your familiar attitudes that were formed by past repetition. Aspect, yes. Okay.
Mm. So aspects. So when I
You're killing me. Look, I just turned this page. On
oh,
my notes. I mean, how
uh,
many pages could I have had here? And then 90 pages, and you say aspect, I turn my aspect.
is this how this always works with us?
But I'm just, I don't.
It's always been that way.
Coffee, I promise, but it's
No,
changed.
wait a minute. Do this one again, James, with the cup. See, I mean, it never fails. Um, oh my gosh. So, I know I got in a lot of trouble last year, or 2019, I should say, when I was talking about the aspects, and I was saying, "Oh my God, 2020."
I mentioned today. Did you hear me mention my
I
show?
did, yep. And I did ask. I was like Henny Penny, but I saw what was going to happen
You're right.
because there were so many aspects, and aspects in astrology means it's a certain way of where a planet is that aspects the world, aspects Earth.
Well, because when
And
you think of it, Kelly, you think just remember everything's energy and things are always moving. And the
mhm,
closer daughters get, it changes the aspect or their relationship. And that's really what is
yeah.
the aspects. What happens there? That closeness.
Yes, yes. And so when this was all happening for 2020, we saw so many planets lined up. They were all in Capricorn. And again, we were just talking about Capricorn and how Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's very intense, it's karmic. And when you have, I think we had 7 planets at one point lined up, astrologically, we were headed into trouble.
And taskmaster,
Tax and karma, and
karma.
something was going to happen. So, and then you add that with psychic ability to it, something's going to happen here. I guess I kept
And then
screaming,
COVID
something's
came
going to
out of it.
happen. Oh my God. But so let's talk about, sometimes you'll hear me say a conjunction. So let me just describe what a conjunction is. And this is a simple way, but it's a concentration of 2 planets that are next to each other. So generally speaking, conjunctions are good if they are the easy planets, which would be Jupiter and Venus and the sun. And that means that the energies are concentrated next to each other. But when you have a conjunction of like Mars and Saturn. Remember, we just said Mars is a planet of war, Saturn is this karmic intense. You put those two together, that's not good. So when you say conjunction, it depends on what the planets are, but a conjunction is next to one another that
We just had that.
powers up the energy.
We just had Mars Capricorn.
We did. Now, if we talk about a square, now you've heard me talk about a square before, and a square is very intense. A square it's 90-degree angle, and a square means it's a confrontation, it's a challenge. So if you hear me say or anybody talk about, these planets are squaring, think of the term as squaring off with one another. It's a very intense, it's intense.
Yeah, it says produces stress with creates dynamic tension.
dynamic change, and it will mean change.
Change, without a doubt.
And those are the big ones. And there's an opposition. I mean, there are a lot of other ones, but and another big one is an opposition, and that's at 180 degrees, and that's a huge conflict when we see an opposition come. It's between opposing energies. So all of this is all about change.
And when that creative tension comes, you need balance. You have to look at that when there's an opposition. Got to be a balance. You got to find the balance. So instead of being opposite, balance between the two of you. Trine is another one, Kelly.
Let's talk about a trine. A trine is actually harmony. It's when planets are trine, they're at 120 degrees from each other, and that's actually the potential for a lot of creative expression.
I like to say they complement each other.
Complement each other. Yeah, it's like peas and carrots. It's a very nice thing.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly. Absolutely. So
sextile, you want to talk about that?
Yes, a sextile is at 60 degrees, and a sextile, it brings an aspect of opportunity and a productivity. It also helps you build your goals. So it's actually, when there's planets that are sextiling, again, 60 degrees from each other, it can be very rewarding for you in life, for your career particularly.
Okay, should we go to the calls, maybe? We've had a lot of.
You should. Oh, we've been chit-chatting. You bet. I'm sorry.
Carrie, I have my moon in Cancer and the second house. What does it mean? Well, moon in Cancer, Kelly said more than I could, but moon in Cancer, it's
my moon is in Cancer, Carrie, so I feel your pain. So I'm going to tell you right now, you're an empath, and your name is Carrie. So I hope you don't carry everybody's pain. I mean, you really have to watch that. And the second house that we were just talking about is personal resources and values and skills. So that would make you probably, you could be a therapist with that. What do you? Yeah, what do you do, Carrie? It'd be interesting because
has to be some of that field probably.
Yeah, and so Pam says,
"Can you hear me?"
Oh, hi,
yes,
Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
What do you feel?
I'm not working currently, but caretaking. The last job I had was with a 90-year-old lady. I loved it. Before that was child care.
Yeah.
I have a question though, because you not on what I had said I was going to talk about, but you said that my Sun, Mars, Midheaven, and Saturn are all conjunct in the 9th and 10th house in Aquarius. What does that mean to me personally?
Well, it would make you pretty psychic, I would think, and I would think it'd make you very aware of everything, because, and especially, you'd have to know a lot about spirituality. I mean, it would really set you up for spirituality here. Do you study spirituality, or?
I do. I love Aquarius. I love astrology. I like numerology.
Yep.
And when did
in fact, I have 11. My birthday is in 11. Like when you add the whole thing up, my vowels are in 11. My name is a 3. My consonants are a 1.
Yeah, you come to help others, and you come to, and always in numerology, and that's a whole other topic that we'll talk about, but an 11 is a master number. So that means that with everything you just said, if I were to have a session with you, I would say, oh, you really have, you took on a lot in this life, is what I would say. You took on a lot of stuff, and you'll get through it all, because you come in with a lot of strength with that, but it's all from the heart, truly from the heart. Everything comes from with this. So good for you. Good for you. Master 11. Good for you.
Okay, now I have thank you. Okay, another question. Please answer. I have yods, Y-O-D-S, finger of gods. I don't know how to interpret that. When I see I have yods, what is my lesson? What does that, I don't know what that means.
Finger of God, I mean, it depends on what everything is in, and we probably don't have time to get into that right now, but a yod, a finger of God, is a very special finger. It's a very special thing in a chart. It is literally like a message to pay attention to. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Good.
Okay.
What is my message? Okay, then.
Thanks, Carrie.
Wow, we're getting toward the end, Kelly. So we barely even touched the surface here, but I want to say a couple of things here for people that want to learn more about it. My school, James Park School of Mystical Arts, Renee can put the banner up there. It's a really in-depth class I have. Of course, it's like 60 videos, the whole thing, and tests. And the book that I used for a lot of that was the best book. I mean, there's so many books in astrology, and I looked at it a lot. This is one of the best ones called Astrology Workbook for Personal Transformation Yourself. That's right there.
Oh, that's a great book.
It's a great book. It's an easy conversation we were talking about. So
yes. So that's a great book for people to get.
There's so many. And I'm studying some Liz Green books, Kelly.
Oh, I love the dream books. I love that.
Liz Green. Have you heard of Liz Green?
Liz Green. Oh, yeah, the astrologer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That'll be fun.
You, but Fate, and another one is So
thank you for that. I have to read this comment. Marjorie Richardson said, Kelly, you told me a few years ago with James that I was going to go back to school for counseling, and I graduated last year in mental health. Congratulations, Marjorie. I'm so happy for you. I'm just thrilled. We need a lot of good therapists right now. We're going to need a lot of them. So if you do go to James's school, take the astrology class, figure out what your life purpose is, because it's all in your natal chart there. And if it says, if it's indicated to go back to school, do it. Now's a great time to help people.
Yeah, perfect. And also the name of the book again is Astrology for Yourself. That's the name, Astrology for Yourself. And it's by Douglas Block and Demetra George. Just put Astrology for Yourself. No, that's good.
There you go.
Yeah, now's a great time because of COVID. The end of COVID is coming up, I think. I really do believe we're going to get lighter. But there are going to be a lot of people that need help. A lot of people. So, I mean, it's
not too late to go back. Go back to school.
I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to take more classes. Love learning. Always learn.
I love learning. How great is that? Sandra Lee says, thank you. Very interesting, informative show. Thank you very much. We're trying to give as much information as you can.
There's so much. I mean,
there's so much.
Surface, really.
Oh, yeah. No, and I do want to mention one thing about retrogrades.
Okay.
Just so I don't forget here. You hear the term all the time. Like, what does that even mean? Why is Kelly talking about Mercury in retrograde or Mars in retrograde or whatever? A retrograde means that planets to go backwards. Planets don't really go backwards, but what they do is they slow down. And when a planet goes retrograde or slows down, way down, energy starts to hover like this, and it can make things pretty intense. And if we talk about Mercury retrograde, Mercury is the fastest moving planet. And when that slows down, that's when we have a lot of issues in communication and contracts and all kinds of things.
Communication,
yeah. So that's generally what retrograde means.
Well, thank you very much for. I mean, it goes by so fast. We're so fast, and we'll probably maybe do another one of these. I mean, it's just probably
Well, and I think that people should take your class because you're going to learn so much from that class.
It's a lot.
I mean, how many? Is it broken down into lessons, James?
Yes, lessons, and the funny thing is that there'll be 3 lessons, and then it'll be like 20 different lessons because there's all about the moon phases, all about the fixed signs, immutable signs, all the elements that go into the houses of depth and the aspects with each other, and all the. It's pretty in depth. I had to learn a lot doing it, and I loved it, and there's still more to learn. And now I'm reading a book about karma and astrology, which is great.
I mean, this goes on and on and on. We could just go learn forever with this.
I mean, just like one house, and you can do a whole year on just a house.
Oh, yeah. And it's so much fun, too. Again, if you're in a relationship and you want to say, hey, does this work for me? I mean, what does this person's chart look like? It's really fascinating.
What is positive? What are not as positive? What's realized, unrealized? I mean, potential's there. It's interesting to look at. It's like, God gave us tools. So we came down this earth.
Yes.
We didn't just get thrown down here. We were given tools by the universe. And whether it's psychic work, astrology work, intuition, I mean, we're given tools to use to help us on that. We just got to believe in ourselves. That's the first thing we have to do.
And know thyself.
True.
Gosh. Well, this was so much fun.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Renee.
Thank you, Renee. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Kelly.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kelly White.
The James and Kelly Show.